yeah. Basically, like I said in my review of Black Panther Wakanda Forever, you know, like this was the hardest film that Marvel has ever tried to make. Undoubtedly that. It is undoubtedly the most difficult film Marvel has ever tried to make. Because they had Black Panther 2 written, like, it was all set. But then, again, Chadwick Boseman sadly passed away. And that not only was it a huge tragedy, but, like, now you're just like, what are we gonna do with this film? Like, the lead is gone. And so this is undoubtedly, like, and so, like, even though I don't like this film, I still say, like, I know they weren't half-assing it. Because this is a very difficult film to make work. Undoubtedly so. It is very difficult for this film to have achieved greatness. And granted, I personally don't think it achieved greatness. I personally don't believe so. Again, because I didn't care for it that much. But, again, this has... Wait, what? This thing isn't, Yeah, okay, yeah, that's strange. Let me just fix a few things here in a second. I'm sorry about this. I really needed, like, this, for some reason, things aren't just working the way they should be right now. But... No, God, why is this thing just not working? Why do I keep hitting enter? But yeah, anyways, regard... Wait. Alright, well, I guess this is working now. Alright. But yeah. But yeah, like, as you can see, Black Panther Wakanda Forever does have, like, an 84% on Rotten Tomatoes. Like, most people really enjoy this movie. And that's great. And here's another thing that I noticed in one of my comments in my review. Yeah, another thing I noticed in my review, like, well, not in my review, in the comments of my review, somebody was saying, oh yeah, this movie's just woke garbage, woke feminist garbage. Look, I don't like Black Panther Wakanda Forever, and even I think that's a stupid accusation. Like, oh, like, no. Like, I don't subscribe to that. I think that's a stupid scapegoat argument to make. Because, like, it's just stupid. It's just stupid. That, but on the other side, like, I don't know, like, hard script. Let me just list down some of the problems I've had. Like, let's just talk in detail about some of the things that happened in Black Panther: Wakanda Forever. Let's talk about some of this stuff. Because, like I said before, like, what did work in this movie, what I thought did work, were, what I thought worked were the tributes to Chadwick Boseman. Like, the movie's tributes to Chadwick Boseman, like the funeral scene in the film. It was done with grace, and like it was some of the more emotional stuff we've seen from the MCU. Because again, Chadwick Boseman's gone, but it still hurts. It still hurts, especially for my brain is still trying to come up with this, but yeah, a lot of the stuff regarding the death of T'Challa, again, I thought was handled with grace. And I know there's this big debate over whether or not they should have recast T'Challa or not, especially since they recast Thunderbolt Ross in they're recasting Thunderbolt Ross, since William Hurt died. Now Thunderbolt Ross is gonna be played by Harrison Ford, and people are like, well, why'd you recast him? I think I don't know, like, would I be perfectly okay with them recasting T'Challa? Yes, and I feel like we need to be able to say the show must go on. Like, I see some people, like, for example, like when Kevin Conroy died, the voice of Batman, who I had the pleasure of meeting at a con this year. People are like, well, now people are like, they should retire the DC animated universe now. You can't do it without Kevin Conroy. It's like, you can, though. You can. And it's like we would lose so much if, like, in terms of legacy. But besides all that, I don't blame them for not recasting T'Challa, because I think there still would be a way for that to work. But the problem is they didn't go that route. But again, like I said, in terms of like the funeral scenes, like any scenes where like the characters are missing T'Challa, I thought it was handled with grace. I thought it was handled with care. It was done very delicately. And as I said before, the standout of this film is Angela Bassett as T'Challa's mother. Like, she arguably gives the best performance in an MCU film. Some people are saying that she could get nominated for an Oscar for Black Panther: Wakanda Forever, and I say go for it. I say go for it. This would be a worthy nomination. Granted, we haven't seen the rest of the competition, yeah, but like, she's right up there with like Michael B. Jordan ironically enough, in the first Black Panther, in giving the best MCU performance to date. Like, she commands the screen whenever she has like quite a few a few monologues in this film. And again, they are powerful. They are really, really powerful scenes that do help carry the film's message of honoring T'Challa and stuff. And, yeah, Angela Bassett is phenomenal. She's stupid good in this. On another... Oh God! Especially definitely one of the big standout scenes is the one where she's confronting Okoye, and they have like this back and forth. That funny enough, I thought was the most intense scene of the entire film, where everything is just like like all the emotions are pouring out, and I don't blame either side of this specific scene, for criticizing the other. Like, they each have good legit reasons to be upset, to be angry, and it's just, again, it's done so well. Also, I like that Okoye became girlfriends with that one lady played by Michaela Seal. I think it's Michaela Seal. I love that. Daniel Kaluuya's character must be fuming right now. But yeah, I thought that part at the end was very sweet. I honestly hope we get more of that. Actually, let's talk about that a little bit. Let's talk about those two a bit, because I thought where is it? Where is a good picture of those two together? Yeah, I can't really find any images of the two together. Yeah, I can't. I genuinely can't. That's weird. But regardless, I mean, this is probably the best we're gonna get. This is probably the best we're gonna get. These two together, I really liked them. I really liked these two together. And like I said, I thought it was very cute when they ended up as a romantic couple. I really liked that. Again, I do hope we see that we see more of that. I do hope we see, their relationship expanded upon next time we see them. But yeah. But like, what were some of the other good things? Also, I will say, like I said, another good thing that I'll say about this movie is that the visual effects, well, I wouldn't consider them Oscar worthy. I probably wouldn't consider them Oscar worthy. It was way better. Like, the effects were way better in this film than the last film, because this, like people always say, oh yeah, like Black Widow had such bad CGI. It's like, no, Black Widow for the most part had great CGI. It was just a couple of shots in the film that people love to nitpick, and that's just annoying for me. But with Black Panther, that was a film where all, not all, but it's like the entire third act had such bad effects to where, and funny, which is weird because in the Critics' Choice Awards and the BAFTAs, it was nominated for and won Best Visual Effects. Which, I'll never trust the Critics' Choice Awards or the BAFTAs for visual effects ever again. Luckily, it got nominated for 0 Visual Effects Society Awards, and definitely didn't get nominated for Best Visual Effects at the Oscars. So, hey, that's great. But yeah, that was a mistake. But luckily, this film did it a lot better. The visual effects in Black Panther: Wakanda Forever were significantly better. And look, even with some of the stupid things I've seen in the movie, like, let's talk about some of the really dumb, like, what was one of the really dumb things I saw? Like, yeah, Riri Williams' Ironheart. Like, let's talk about that. Because here's the thing, this costume, like, this is one of the big problems I have with Black Panther: Wakanda Forever, is that they're setting up Ironheart. All right, fine. I'm not exactly sure what she's doing in a Black Panther movie. But, like, good God, the payoff of this character is laughable. Because you look at her in this film, the CGI itself is fine. Like, I don't see anything wrong with, like, the rendering or the lighting and stuff like that. The CGI itself is good. But the design of Ironheart in this film, she looks like a Power Ranger. She actually looks like a Power Ranger. It's ridiculous looking. And it's not real, and like I said, it's not really a knock on the visual effects team. It's really more of a production design, or no, I guess in this case it would be like a costume design issue. Because holy shit, this was embarrassing to look at. It's like, really, you couldn't think of any better iron suits than this? Really? So I hated that. I hated the way that suit looked. I really, really hate the way that suit looked. But for the most part, like I said, the CGI, like the visual effects in Black Panther Wakanda Forever are strong. They're good. Not Oscar worthy, but they're good. It's a big step up from the last film. So yeah. Oh, also, let's talk about one of the, like, you know, one of the surprises in the film that we saw. And that was, I'm trying to find a good picture. I guess this will do. The appearance of Michael B. Jordan as Killmonger. Like, that was one, like, I kind of thought he would show up in the film. I'm not gonna lie. Like, this was such, like Killmonger, I think, is one of the best characters the MCU has ever made. And honestly, probably, I mean, obviously, yeah, he exists in the comic books, but he's one of the best MCU characters out there. Now, granted, there were some people out there saying, "Oh yeah, you know, Killmonger should have been brought back, and he should have been Black Panther." Hell no! This guy was was wanting to commit genocide. Like, hell no. Now, he's a great character. I really like him as a character, like as a villain. But don't tell me that he should be, you know, the good guy here. He was clearly taking a few steps too far. But regardless, his cameo in this film, I did think made thematic sense. It made thematic sense for him to be there. I really, really liked seeing him back. And, oh god, like, I really, really love the Killmonger character. Like, dare I say, maybe better than Thanos in terms of villains? Maybe? I don't know. But he's just that strong of a character. I really, really do love Killmonger. And plus, I mean, it's you know, you can't have... But yeah, but also, you know, you can't have a Ryan Coogler movie without Michael B. Jordan showing up somewhere. Yeah. So I thought that was kind of, it's a little bit funny because it's like, Ryan Coogler, you can't resist having Michael in there. But yeah, I thought, like, Michael, and for some reason people, like, laugh at me when I say that I think Michael B. Jordan is like a top 20 actors working today. I mean that. I honestly mean that. Michael B. Jordan is... like, I think is up there, like, probably, like I said, top 20 best actors working right now. And someone, like tell me, oh yeah, I can think of 100 actors working today better than Michael B. Jordan. It's like, 100? You do realize how large of a number 100 is, right? Like, no, Michael B. Jordan is, like, he's just phenomenal. I still think he maybe should have gotten an Oscar nomination for supporting actor for the first Black Panther. Like, that was strong. That was a strong performance. I loved him in that. Sorry, I'm doing a little bit of dusting as well. But yeah, his cameo in this film while it is kind of funny to go, it's a Ryan Coogler movie, you gotta have Michael B. Jordan, it made thematic sense for him to be in this film, for him to appear where he appeared. Also, and this sort of goes into one of the negatives I have in this film, but for like a different reason. Lupita Nyong'o's character, Nakia, is probably one of the most fascinating, is probably one of, when you hear her story and her story behind all this in the film, she's one of the most interesting characters. But the part that's a negative is that she's really cast off to the side. And I'm like, really? Her story here is so interesting, and she doesn't really have a lot to do in this. But regardless, it turns out, once, I think it was after T'Challa died in Avengers Infinity War, she kind of left Wakanda and was I gotta take time for myself and whatnot. And, stayed around I think it was in Mexico for a while. And, she's just been kind of there. And then, he came back in Avengers Endgame. But then, of course, he died again. And so, all this time, she's she's just kind of been there. And when you find out in the post-credits scene, she has a son who is named after his father, T'Challa. Which, again, all of that is so interesting. It is, this character, Nakia in this movie is one of the most interesting characters in the film. And like I said, she barely has any screen time. Which, again, just baffles me. She's, we're giving Riri Williams and... We're giving Riri Williams all this screen time, and yet, Nakia, again, who has one of the more interesting stories, just cast off to the side? It's a very odd choice to me. And then there was everything with, I think it was Everett Ross. Yeah, where do I... Yeah, let's talk about Everett Ross's character. Let's talk about him. Because in the grand scheme of things, I don't know, he doesn't really serve anything. I don't really know why he was in this movie. And not only was I confused as to why he was in this movie, I don't know why Val was in this movie. Because, the character who's been appearing in a bunch of these MCU projects, like Falcon and the Winter Soldier and Black Widow and stuff, and I'm just and she's gonna be in Thunderbolts, and I was like, why? Why is this character it's already pointless enough for Everett to be there, but it's also even more pointless to have Val here. I don't know why these two had to be in this movie. They just wasted screen time. These two were given a lot of screen time, and when really, like I said, Nakia could have gotten that screen time. I mean, well, I think there's another aspect of this character that I feel like should have definitely been a forefront in the film, but they didn't do. And that would have made a lot more thematic sense than what we got, but it's regardless, it's I don't know why these two were in this movie other than to just set up Thunderbolts. It's I'm not gonna lie, I'm not interested in Thunderbolts at all, if I'm gonna be honest. I'm not interested in Thunderbolts. You have some characters there that are cool that I like, You have Winter Soldier, he's always cool. You have bad Captain America from Falcon and Winter Soldier. I like him. But it's you have what, like, big Russian guy from Black Widow. I mean, I thought he was fine, but it's like, really? You have, like, I think, like, no, I don't think they said Zemo. Actually, wait, who are the Thunderbolts? Okay, this is what we're looking at for our, these are our Thunderbolts. We have Val, who I really don't give a shit about. We have Ghost character from Ant-Man and the Wasp. I don't really care about her. We have this guy from Black Widow. I don't really care about him. We have, Florence Pugh's character, I forget her name, from Black Widow, which again, I don't really care about. And plus, I think her Russian accent is so bad. It's such a bad accent. It's such a goofy sounding accent. And look, I like Florence Pugh. I love Florence Pugh. But like, you know, but man, like her Russian voice when she's playing Black Widow's sister is so goofy. I can't take it seriously. Again, I like Winter Soldier. I like this guy. I really like them. But then you also have Taskmaster. And I'm like, again, I don't give a shit about Taskmaster. Why does so much of this have so much to do with Black Widow? Probably one of the worst MCU movies. I was like, why? I don't care about any, like, I don't care. Why are they setting up Thunderbolts? Like, why? I'm not excited for this movie. I really am not. And it's like, again, wasting screen time in this film to set up Thunderbolts when we could be focusing on characters that actually have something to do in the film is just, it's just silly. And, you know, what were some of the other points that I wanted to make here? Oh yeah, let's talk about Namor. And the funny thing is with Namor, he has every reason to be interesting. He has every reason to be interesting. But again, the problem is, at least in my opinion, like when you see his backstory, it's in, like, you're like, okay, I want to know where they go with this, but I'm not feeling it. I'm not feeling this character. I don't have there's not a lot of emotional weight behind it. It's more exposition, really. And granted, there are many times where like they're showing you his backstory, but it's like it doesn't feel all that impactful. And again, it just feels like another character that they're trying to set up. Like that's one of my main problems with this movie is that they have this whole narrative, you know, regarding, you know, the death of T'Challa. How do they move on from that? But yet it's constantly being bogged down by so many uninteresting subplots. Not like, you know, with Namor, with the Thunderbolt shit, with Riri Williams and all that. Like, I just don't care. And it's like, and it really does bog down the film for me. And so, yeah. And on top of everything else, and this is going to be my main point here, Shuri as Black Panther makes zero sense. It makes zero sense. There is no good reason, logical reason, for this character to be Black Panther. There's no good reason. Like, if we're talking about the emotional reasons, sure. I could see that, like maybe some of the emotional reasons and how her anger, you know, builds up throughout the entire film, and even why she sees, you know, Killmonger. Like, that makes sense. But here's the problem that I've always had with the idea of Letitia Wright as Black Panther, with Shuri as Black Panther. Although Letitia Wright has her own skeletons in the closet, you know, in terms of being anti-vax and possibly even being transphobic. But that aside, on top of that, you know, with Shuri, you know, let's just, let's just take a look at this character. Let's just take a look at this character, and I will show, like, my main problem here with this character being Black Panther. All right, I want you to take a good look. There's a couple of images. All right, image 1. All right, and then image 2. Want to know the main problem here? Wait, what the? All right, image 1. All right. Wait, hold on. Wait. What in the world is happening right now? Wait, hold on. Come on. Let me see if this works. Alright, cool. Alright. Alright. Once again, let's take a look at Shuri here. And it's another angle. It's not a time, like, you know what the problem with the main problem? The problem that completely makes the whole idea of Shuri being Black Panther make no sense whatsoever? She is a stick. She has no muscle. She is not a fighter. That's my main issue with Shuri in the MCU being Black Panther. Now, some people will say, well, I mean, they're doing it because it was in the comics. Cool, that was the comics. This is the MCU, and the MCU takes a lot of liberties. And one of those liberties is that in the MCU, Shuri can't fight. She has she works in the lab, and even in the Endgame battle. Like, and people are going, well, she was in the Endgame battle. All right, she was in the Endgame battle. I will show you what exactly she was doing in that Endgame battle. All right, let me show you what she was doing in that Endgame battle. Like, her big, contributions in terms of fighting in combat. Just wrist guns, pew, 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 pew. That was the most she did. She has never actually fought a day in her life. She may have thrown a punch or two, maybe in the first Black Panther, but she is nowhere near on the level of being a martial artist / acrobat that Black Panther is supposed to be. T'Challa, trained his entire life to be Black Panther. Even Killmonger was in the army for years, and after that was a mercenary. So the dude was extremely, not obviously, not morally, but physically worthy of being Black Panther. But Shuri, again, let me just show you this again. She's literally a stick. She has no definition whatsoever. And so when she just comes down in the suit, and later on in the film is just doing all this crazy Black Panther shit, fighting and doing all these flips and stuff. Some of the stuff you've been seeing in the trailer. It doesn't make any sense. It just feels like this character just got these powers out of nowhere. And some people will also say that, she took the heart-shaped herb. Yeah, the heart-shaped herb makes you, physically stronger and more durable, sure. But you still have to fight. Doesn't mean, that doesn't mean, you instantly know every martial arts move and stuff. And you know what the funniest thing is in this movie in terms of that? The whole Shuri Black Panther thing? Remember when I said that they had an out in the non-spoiler review? Here is the out. They had a time jump of 1 year. Now, granted, that doesn't mean you're going to be better or even as good as T'Challa was, but at least that would show, like, on a filmmaking side, you're giving the attempt to explain why this character is the way they are. You know, maybe, like, you know, you time skip 1 year, and it turns out Shuri, all this time, yeah, over the course of that year, has been, you know, in order to blow off steam, really, you know, working out, really, you know, doing a lot of these physical exercises and stuff. Maybe she doesn't know she's going to be Black Panther, but again, do something, like, do some training, you know, like, working out day in, day out. Again, you're not going to be as good as your brother in 1 year, but at the very least, you would at least be good. You know, you would at least be decent. But no, in this film, she immediately, like, when she takes the heart-shaped herb, she's immediately good at everything when it comes to being Black Panther, and I'm sorry, that just takes me out of the film. It doesn't make any sense whatsoever. And it just feels like CW garbage, where it's like, in the CW, like, characters that have had literally no training whatsoever will suddenly be, like, the best at, you know, being a superhero and shit. And it's like, really? And again, it just takes, like, you know, it really takes me out of the movie. And so, yeah, I just don't, and again, this goes to another point I had in the movie, in that it would have made way more sense for Nakia to be Black Panther. It would have, because here's the thing, she was, she was gonna be Queen of Wakanda, because she was, like, you know, I'm assuming she didn't end up, actually, I don't know, like, if she married T'Challa or not. Maybe not, but if she wasn't, she was, you know, going to be. And you see her, and you see her backstory and how she dealt with, yeah, she never did marry him. Alright, but again, if she was in that kind of a strong relationship with him, it was looking likely that she was going to marry him eventually. But regardless, even at that, you don't, as we've seen, you do not have to be the ruler of Wakanda in order to be Black Panther. As, you know, again, as we saw with T'Chaka and T'Challa. You know, T'Chaka was king while T'Challa was Black Panther. So obviously it shows, you know, you don't need to be ruler of Wakanda in order to be Black Panther. So, yeah, she was, yeah, Eli Steinberg, I hope I'm pronouncing it right. Eli Steinberg says, but I like your point. She was to be queen, mentioned in the first one, and she has a fighting experience. Yes, yes, yes. She has fighting experience. She is a warrior. And not only that, she was one of the heads of the River Tribe. I think it was the River Tribe. I don't know exactly what tribe it was, but she was one of the higher ups in one of the tribes. So there's that. And like I said, you know, and you're pointing out, she is a warrior. She can fight. Whereas with Shuri, again, the most fighting we've seen her do is the endgame battle, and she just goes pew 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 with the wrist guns. Yeah, River Tribe. So yeah, and this is the funny thing, and you know, and it's like this, out of all the characters in Black Panther, Nakia would make the most sense to be the next Black Panther. It would, like, she has every claim to that mantle, but they only chose Shuri because it happened in the comics. And this is an instance where being comic accurate hurts the movie, because you're not putting this narrative first. You're only putting they're only putting the comic accuracy ahead of it. Because like I said, if they didn't want to recast T'Challa, I would be perfectly fine with it. And, like, because, again, there are some workarounds around that. And plus, it does, like I said, the death of T'Challa was the best, I mean, I don't want to say the best part, but it's, like, the most emotionally resonant part of the film. But Nakia being the next Black Panther, it would, like, that would make so much sense. And there's other characters that I would also give the Black Panther mantle to, above Shuri, like Okoye, M'Baku. They could, again, they all have good reasons to be the next Black Panther. But, no, they just gave it to, arm gun girl Shuri. I don't get that. And like I said, it's one of the main reasons why there was so much wasted potential with Nakia, because, again, when you look at her backstory, it's, so fascinating. Like, because, again, she was to be married to T'Challa. And like I said, this is a spoiler review. She had a child with him, and so she had every reason. Like she had one of the more interesting stories in the film. But like I said, they just sidelined that in order to make Shuri Black Panther, in order to focus on Riri Williams and to focus on Thunderbolts. Which, I'm sorry, I still do not give any shits over Thunderbolts. I really don't care about Thunderbolts. I don't, this is probably one of my least anticipated MCU movies to date. It's like, why should I ever be excited for Thunderbolts? And Eli Steinberg says, if you notice that she was in the Panther uniform, she looked embarrassingly tiny, even though the director tries his best to make her look big. And here's another point that I should also mention. In the first Black Panther, who was the first person, the Queen of Wakanda, like Angela Bassett's character, who was the first person she went to when they all thought T'Challa died? Like, there was one last heart-shaped herb. Who was the first one the Queen went to offer the heart-shaped herb to? It was Nakia. She trusted Nakia more than anyone, even above her own daughter, to be the next Black Panther. It's even within this, so there was so many reasons why Nakia should have been Black Panther. It's just, again, they threw that all away because of comic accuracy. But again, it's just, it doesn't work. Just because you did something in the comics doesn't mean it's going to translate well in a film. And the funny thing is, we're seeing new superheroes pop up all the time in the MCU, whether it be, She-Hulk, or Miss Marvel, or, what's her name, America Chavez and stuff. The difference with those characters is that we've never seen them before. Well, for one, a lot of those characters didn't even have to do any kind of, insane, fighting skills that Black Panther can do. But it's even with She-Hulk, she's still agile, but she's, you still see that she is not an elite level fighter, an elite level athlete. But even then, we've never. But another point that helps those characters is that we've never seen them before, so therefore we don't really have a lot of context as to what their physical situation is. Whereas with Shuri, we've seen Shuri plenty of times, and all she's done is just be in the lab, just working on tech, which is great. But she's never actually fought a day in her life. Not much less to the level of her brother, or even Nakia, or most of the main characters in the first film to begin with. It's almost everyone in the first Black Panther had more physical, experience in combat than she did. So the fact that, again, the fact that Shuri, of all characters, is now Black Panther, it just made no sense to me. It just made no sense to me. And I feel, again, that's probably one of the biggest reasons why I just didn't like this film. There were a bunch of other reasons, but this is the biggest one because it just throws all logic out the window. And again, I must reiterate this from the beginning. You know, I'm not, like, I still, even though I don't like this movie, I refuse to ever subscribe to the notion of, you know, oh, this movie's just woke feminist garbage. No, even though I don't like this film, I never subscribe to that kind of, you know, I never subscribe to that, what's the word I'm looking for? That kind of cop-out kind of criticism. Because, like, it's stupid. Like, that's a stupid criticism. I didn't like, but again, I didn't like this film, but anyone calling this woke feminist garbage is just stupid. And like I said, if you ask me, calling this movie woke when the new Black Panther is played by someone who is anti-vax and anti-trans, you know, I would, like, calling this movie woke, I wouldn't really call, I really wouldn't call, like, you know, Letitia Wright woke. So it's like, but yeah, I don't think the narrative worked out all that well. But yeah, I just, like I said, I don't know if you've been here since the beginning, Eli Steinberg, but I just really wanted to put that out there because I'm not, you know, fucking geeks and gamers or those losers. Like, no, I'm not like that. No. But like I said, I just didn't happen to like this film. So yeah, but I will say the movie did, like I said, the movie's ending was strong. It was a very strong ending where Shuri finally, you know, burns, I don't know what it was, like the outfits or the outfit of her brother or her mother or whatever, and the movie ending, you know, with the sun behind her, and her crying, you know, finally letting her emotions out, and then the credits where it's just like, you know, again, just simple good photography with, you know, clothes blowing in the wind, like white fabrics blowing in the wind with that Rihanna song. And it, like I said, it was a perfect, like, that ending was probably one of the more poignant endings of the entire MCU. I did really love that. And like I said, I really love that mid-credit scene. There's no post-credit scene, but yeah, I thought the movie ended, like, in terms of the actual ending, not the climax, but like the ending of the film, I thought was very strong. Eli says, I didn't like the movie either. It had so much heart and potential, but it floundered because they didn't know really what to do. In my opinion, Namor was a saving grace. Again, like, I agree to an extent. For me, I still think Namor, they had all the pieces to make Namor interesting, but for some reason, I just didn't feel it. Like, I just didn't feel the emotion with, you know, with the whole Namor backstory, because, like, I don't know, it wasn't emotionally resonant. All the pieces were there, but I just couldn't feel it. And like I said, it was beautiful cinematography. It was, like I said, the ending itself, where, again, she's crying and letting her emotions out, like, it was a perfect way to end this film. Like, I don't think you could have ended that any better. So there was at least that, but, you know, like I said, I didn't like this film, but there were some good things in it. I thought the performances were all strong. I thought some characters were very interesting. Like I said, I thought Nakia was interesting. You know, aside from her being Black Panther, you know, Shuri does have some interesting points in the story. You know, I still think Angela Bassett as the Queen in this film, I still feel like there's an argument to be made that she should be nominated for a Best Supporting Actress Oscar, because she gives a a thunderous performance. The visual effects in this film, I thought, were way better than the last film. And he said, Eli Steinberg says, I can understand that because Namor was a lot to take in and very choppy, but it was interesting and a heavy addition to the Marvel Cinematic Universe. Yeah, I just feel like I just don't think he was right for this film, if I'm being honest. I don't think he was right for this film. Because there's like I said, I think the whole heavy mess, but then again, it's like, what do you do with the villain in this? So it's like, I think, like, but, I don't know, like, there's just, like I said, I've always said that, like, and like, as I said before in the beginning of this video, I'm not gonna act like this film was half-assed, because it wasn't. Like, this film is undoubtedly the most difficult film Marvel has ever tried to make. It is, like, there was so much going against this film. And so I know Ryan Coogler put his heart into it. I know that, that he really did care about making this film as good as it can be. And like I said, a lot of people do still love this film. A lot of people still really do love Black Panther Wakanda Forever. I don't, but I'm glad a lot of other people are getting that experience, and I can't take that away from them. Because like I said, there are a lot of good things in this movie, and, maybe the whole Shuri Black Panther thing doesn't bother people. I mean, again, that's fine. I don't think she should have been. But like I said, this was an almost unwinnable situation for Marvel, I think. Because, like I said, everything is stacked up against it. Especially when you're coming off the heel, because, like, again, you're coming off of the heels of a, like, billion-dollar grossing, Best Picture Oscar nominated, first Black Panther film. There's already so many things going against the film with that and trying to live up to those expectations. But also, again, trying to live up to the expectation of, what are you doing after, Chadwick Boseman passed away. There's so many things going against it. Yeah, he just said, I don't know, neither did the filmmakers, I don't know, but of course it wasn't half-assed, but they just didn't really know what to do. But yeah, like I said, I do feel like their heart was in the right place with this, obviously. And like I said, every time there was, like, a little tribute to Chadwick Boseman, like, every time, the characters would mourn T'Challa, even that opening Marvel logo showing, T'Challa, Chadwick Boseman and all that stuff. Like, it was, that stuff was emotionally resonant. And I really did feel it, and I really did feel that. And I love, the ending where it's like, dedicated to our, dear friend Chadwick Boseman. It was all very resonant. Hell, I'm getting goosebumps as I am reminiscing about that. That stuff does stand out to me. It's just whenever it tries to be a superhero film, I think that's when it kind of falters. That's where I feel like it kind of, like, it's a great tribute, but not a great superhero movie, I would say. And like I said, trying to balance those two things is very difficult. So yeah, that's what I believe. Anyone have any final thoughts on Black Panther Wakanda Forever, before I probably sign off, perhaps? I just want to know if there's any kind of points of the film you wanted me to discuss, all that stuff. So yeah, just let me know. Just kind of looking around. Ugh. Just waiting a little bit to see if there's any kind of Yeah, the way T'Challa died, I feel like they again. I thought they did it the best they did that the best they could. What virus? I don't really think it was really necessary to say what it was. Because like I said, again, that's one where I completely understand why a lot of it was kept vague. It's like, what are you gonna do? Like that's like I was fine with that. Like, they obviously can't show, any kind of Chadwick Boseman, whatever. Like, because there's gonna be backlash on that. So, like I said, I thought the way his death was portrayed was, again, I thought it was done as well as it could be. Given the circumstances, considering they can't CG Chadwick, considering they didn't want to have anyone, play Chadwick Boseman dead or anything like. I thought that they did that was handled fine. I thought I was okay with that. Was hoping it would be a thread that led to something bigger. I don't know if I would really want that. I mean, especially since, we're kind of already dealing with something as heavy as that. Like, I can understand why, how he died, like how T'Challa died, wasn't really given a lot of, why that wasn't given a lot of attention, because again, that's because I think there would be a point where it crosses over to being too real and, becoming potentially tasteless. So I get that. I completely understand that. That's fine. Like I think the more important thing is that, he died, we're sad, what do we do? I feel like that was more important than saying, why did he die? How did he die? It's like, that's not really important. That gets, because that would lead it, like, that would, again, that could potentially, I'm not saying it would, but it could potentially lead to something that would be considered tasteless. So, I don't mind that they didn't expand on that whole thing. I'm okay with that. So, I mean, that's just me. So, yeah. I will say there was one bit that I was a little bit confused over in the film, because when Namor takes Shuri down into Talocan, she has to wear a big suit because, and this would be correct, the water pressure from being down there, like down the depths, like the water pressure would crush her, which again makes sense. That is correct. However, I find it weird. So again, yeah, so she has to wear like this big suit. However, when Nakia goes down there, yeah, and again, when Nakia goes down there, again, it's fine. She has, like, this Wakanda technology. It's like, alright, she's protected. When she brings Shuri and Riri back up, they're hanging onto the side of Nakia's little pod, meaning they're outside, meaning they came, from the depths, and so I was like, wait, wouldn't the water pressure have crushed those two? Why did Shuri, why? Why? The movie kind of contradicted itself with that. Eli Steinberg says, Doom would have had Agent poison T'Challa, thereby destabilizing the world to his advantage. But then, again, maybe I read too many comics. I'd probably say your assumption with the comics is probably right. Again, I feel like going too deep into, and I see your point, but it just added more empty storytelling. Thanks for your thoughts. You're welcome. And like I said, I feel like I was fine if they didn't expand on the whole why T'Challa died, because the why of it, that's not important. That's not what's important right now. We're here to focus on T'Challa died. How do we move on from this? How do we, what do we do? Because I feel like I said, going too deep into the why of it would, again, be considered tasteless to an extent. So, again, yeah. Wait, Cold War Review says, Black Panther was a good movie, but in my opinion, I thought Michael B. Jordan was terribly miscast in that movie. That's just my opinion, Bo. Chadwick Boseman was great, though. Miscast? I thought he, like, what? Like, that's the first thing I ever heard of. Like, what? I thought he was, like, the best part of the first Black Panther. Like, Michael B. Jordan gave, like, I would consider an Oscar nomination level performance. Like, damn. All right. I own one of the Marvel Zombies comic books. Michael B. Jordan was good in Creed movies, but I just didn't buy into him with Black Panther because that's just my opinion. Yeah, it's an opinion I 100% would disagree with, because I thought he was the best part of that film, like by a large margin. I mean, don't get me wrong, I love Black Panther, the first film. And I will say, like I said in my non-spoiler review, I liked the first Black Panther when I first saw it, but it was one of those movies that did get better with subsequent rewatches. No. Ow. Oh, my back. Ow. I'm old. Ah, God, I'm old. Since Kevin Conroy passed away, you need to watch Batman Mask of the Phantasm. I will, but like I said, we're here to talk about Wakanda Forever. That's the main crux of the video right here. So, but I did mention, a bit of Kevin Conroy earlier. But yeah. But Cole was into Jordan, so he knows him from a different angle. I mean, don't get me wrong. I mean, I knew of Michael B. Jordan for the longest time. Like, I watched Chronicle, I watched Creed, and don't get me wrong, he's great in those movies. But it's like, I feel like great actors are those who can bounce back. Like some of the greatest actors are the ones who can bounce back and forth between being, really great heroes to being the scummiest of people. Like, let's take Daniel Day-Lewis, for example. He was probably one of the best villains I've ever seen in film in the movie, in There Will Be Blood, but then, which he won an Oscar for. And literally his next film, which got him well, actually, no, it wasn't his next film, but then he did Lincoln, where he played Abraham Lincoln, and obviously we know how great he was. He won an Oscar for that as well. So it's like, villains and heroes, like, there are some people I feel like that are probably too nice to play villains. Like, I thought, the idea of, like, there's this movie coming out called A Man Called Otto with Tom Hanks, and he plays a grumpy old man, and that's one where I'm just like, yeah, I can't see Tom Hanks as an asshole. I just can't really see that. So, I do want to pick up, Colt One Review says, I do want to pick up some of the Black Panther comics at some point, yeah, I don't read comics, so yeah. Dude, stretch it out. Stretch what out? Are you talking about my back? Are you talking about my back? Are you talking about that? I'm assuming Eli, when he says dude, stretch it out, I think he's talking about my back. I mean, I hope that's what you're talking about. If so, I should. I'm lazy. Also, he's gone now, so Cole One Review says I'm gonna try to see Wakanda Forever as soon as possible. Well, looks like you got spoiled for a lot of things. But yeah, I think, funny enough, I might call it quits right now. I might, hang up the. Well, yeah, no, this could be shown. Cool. Yeah, I agree. I can't see Tom Hanks as an asshole either. Yeah, I can't. Like, that's one of the I think that's one of the reasons why he was very well cast in A Beautiful Day in the Neighborhood, where he played Mr. Rogers. Which funny if but yeah. Regardless, I think I might call it quits here. I think I've said just about everything I needed to say about Black Panther: Wakanda Forever. Again, I liked the film. No, I didn't. No, I didn't like the film. I didn't like Black Panther: Wakanda Forever. But like I said, I do think it's not a half-assed attempt. Like, this was undoubtedly the most difficult film Marvel has ever tried to make. And so yeah, like, it was undoubtedly the most difficult film Marvel has ever had to make. Everything was stacked up against it. And again, a lot of people, a lot of people do seem to love this film. I don't, but which is worse, Spider-Man 2 or Black Panther 2? I don't, like, let me look. I think it's slightly worse, I think. But again, I don't hate either movie. I think Spider-Man 2 is a little bit better than Black Panther Wakanda Forever. But literally in my MC ranking on Letterboxd, Spider-Man 2 is literally right above Wakanda Forever. So it's like, it's not by a large margin at all. But I'm not gonna lie, I am a bit concerned over Marvel at the moment, because we are in Phase 4, and I've disliked the following Phase 4 projects: Black Panther Wakanda Forever, Miss Marvel, Black Widow, and Werewolf by Night. I'm not gonna lie, I really, really did not like... I think Werewolf by Night might actually take Thor the Dark World over as the worst MCU project. Which is funny, because if I'm not mistaken, I think a lot of people loved Werewolf by Night. Let me look. Yeah, a lot of people really, really loved Werewolf by Night. So again, I'm in the minority there. But yeah. But seeing as how I didn't like, Wakanda Forever, Miss Marvel, Black Widow, and Werewolf by Night, like, that's 4 projects. I am officially concerned over Marvel right now. And then there was a couple, I didn't dislike Hawkeye. No, I didn't dislike Hawkeye. I thought it was okay. But that's, yeah. Because again, like, here's the thing. I loved Spider-Man No Way Home, which is my favorite MCU project so far. I loved Shang-Chi. I love Falcon and Winter Soldier. And I really did like Doctor Strange and the Multiverse of Madness. But I keep going down, and it's like, again, with 4 projects that I did not like, I'm officially concerned now. Would you consider Werewolf by Night a movie that you hated that everyone else loved? I don't even think I really consider it a movie, if I'm going to be honest. I mean, well, for one, it wasn't a theatrical release. It went straight to Disney+. But it's also, like, only an hour and stuff. Like, probably, actually, it's less than an hour. It's a TV special. That's what I consider a Werewolf by Night to be. It's a TV special. It's really too short to be a movie, and it's also, did not get any kind of major theatrical release. So no, I would not consider Werewolf by Night a movie that I don't even know if I would say, I don't know, do I hate Werewolf by Night? I mean, I can't really find a lot of good in it, to be honest. At least for me. So, yeah, but regardless, I'm still concerned over the MCU as of now, because, especially with the future of the MCU, like, alright, Guardians of the Galaxy 3 and the holiday special, I'm looking forward to those. James Gunn has set a precedent for excellence. So I am looking forward to those, but, Ant-Man and the Wasp, Quantumania, I'm not excited because you have anti-vaxxer, anti-masker Evangeline Lilly, which makes me want to vomit. You have... yeah, like, I was, like, what was it, actually, what was another one I'm concerned over? Oh yeah, I'm not excited over Thunderbolts in any sense. I'm not excited for Thunderbolts, and I was excited for Blade, but now that they've lost their director, and reports were saying that, the script isn't good, like saying that the action sequences are lackluster. I'm like, that doesn't inspire confidence in me, and, like, I will officially hit the panic button. And and reportedly Mahershala Ali is growing impatient with the lack of progress in this Blade movie. And I swear to God, if they lose Mahershala Ali, I am officially hitting the panic button. The panic button for Marvel. Again, I'm not loving what Marvel's been doing lately. I did really like She-Hulk. I did really like She-Hulk. And I liked Thor: Love and Thunder, but again, like with their TV shows and their specials, and now that I didn't even like Wakanda Forever, and I'm not looking forward to Ant-Man and the Wasp: Quantumania, I'm not looking forward to Thunderbolts, all that stuff. I'm honestly, I'm not looking forward to Echo because she was, the lady from Hawkeye, she wasn't interesting. I'm not looking forward to that. Then there's Ironheart, which I'm not really interested in that. I'm just like, I'm not loving the MCU so far, and I'm not loving where we're going. But if Mahershala Ali walks, like if he says, nope, there's been no progress, I'm out, I gotta do other movies. If they lose Mahershala Ali, I will officially hit the panic button and go, we need to rethink everything, like just panic. But again, we haven't reached that point yet. But if we do, oh yeah, and I will say I am ungodly looking forward to Deadpool 3, which is in the MCU, but at the same time, it's also kind of its own thing in a way. I don't know. But I swear, if Mahershala Ali walks from Blade, if he leaves Blade, I will panic. Oh shit, we have six viewers as of now. Rin Froggy says the MCU has been pure stinko as of lately. I don't know if I read that before. If I read that already, I'm sorry, but I don't know. I wouldn't completely say stinko because again, I've liked some, but I think the best way I can describe it is that it started off strong. You had WandaVision, which granted, I don't love WandaVision. Like, I thought the last 2 episodes were kind of but I thought what they were going for was really great. But I did love Falcon Winter Soldier. I love that. Love Shang-Chi. I really liked Eternals. I love Spider-Man No Way Home to no end. But it feels like we're but the problem is that Marvel's being inconsistent right now. They're being inconsistent, which is not good. Like, beforehand, the only MCU project I didn't like was Thor: The Dark World. But now, we have, again, I've said before, we have 4 Thor: The Dark Worlds now. Which, granted, I think only Werewolf by Night, in my opinion, is worse than Thor: The Dark World. But in terms of, projects that I just did not like, I just don't like, Thor: The Dark World was for the longest time the only one that I actively disliked. And so I am concerned. Right now. And as I said before, if Mahershala Ali walks away from Blade, if he gets so frustrated that he leaves, I'm officially hitting the panic button. I'm officially going to be hitting the panic button and going, what the fuck are we doing? Like, get your shit together. But again, we have not reached that point yet. But still, yeah. Anyone have any closing thoughts before I go? Anyone have any possible thoughts? Actually, I probably need to go. I'll definitely need to go at around, because I start work at 4. So yeah. Anyone else have any thoughts? Any final thoughts before I go? Also, I do want to point out, we're at 958 subscribers right now, which I'm really excited for. I love that we're, almost to 1,000. Also, if you haven't already, hit that subscribe button, hit that like button, and hit that bell notification so you can be notified of future videos and live streams. I want to let you guys know that. But yeah, and I have a new song coming out. I have a new song coming out this December, and I'm excited. Because it's gonna be another parody like how I did Welcome to Game Theory. Oh, yep, looks like I'm alone. Yep. Well, regardless, I think that'll close it for this live stream again. You know, yeah. So, what are your thoughts on Black Panther Wakanda Forever? Let me know your thoughts down below. Thank you so much for watching. As I said before, hit that subscribe button, hit that like button, and hit that bell icon to be notified of future videos. And if you want to see more, click this.